So we're diving into the world of mobile gaming today, focusing on an app called Bubble Cash. It's developed by Papaya Gaming, and the premise is playing bubble shooter for real money. It sounds kind of intriguing, right?
Yeah, it does sound interesting. I mean, Bubble Shooter is a classic game that most people know, but turning it into a cash tournament, that's a different angle. This article we're looking at gives us a good overview of what Bubble Cash is all about and how it works. We're really going to focus on these Papaya Bubble Cash game app reviews.
Right, so from what I'm gathering, it's not just mindless bubble popping. It involves skill-based tournaments where you can actually win money. They have free practice rounds, which is a good way to get the hang of it, and then you can jump into cash tournaments with entry fees. How does it actually pay out, huh?
Well, the article says they use PayPal or Apple Pay for payments and withdrawals, which are pretty standard secure methods. You compete against players with similar skill levels, and if you score high enough, you win a cash prize. Entry fees are between $1 to $15, so it seems pretty accessible to start with.
Okay, so the big question, and this is a question from our listener today, is Papaya Bubble Cash legit? We get so many of these earn money playing games apps, and a lot of them are just scams. So is Bubble Cash actually legit? And does Bubble Cash really pay? Does Bubble Cash pay real money?
Those are crucial questions, definitely. According to this review, Bubble Cash does seem to be legitimate. It's got a pretty high rating on the Apple App Store, lots of reviews, and Papaya Gaming itself is mentioned as a reputable company. People are reporting successful withdrawals, which is a good sign. However, some users mentioned payment delays, so it's not always instant cash.
Right, so it's not a guaranteed income stream, but it's not a complete scam either. What about the earning potential then? I mean, can you actually make decent money, or is it just pocket change?
The earning potential really depends on your skill and how much you're willing to put in, both in terms of time and entry fees. The article mentions entry fees from $1 to $15, and naturally the prize pools increase with higher entry fees. But it's also really important to understand that you can lose your entry fee if you don't win. They advise setting a budget, which is smart. And crucially, cash tournaments aren't available in all U.S. states due to legal stuff. Arizona, Iowa, Louisiana, South Carolina, and Washington are specifically mentioned as restricted.
That state restriction is a pretty important detail. So it's skill-based, potentially pays real money, but with risks and limitations. What are some tips to actually do well in Bubble Cash tournaments, according to the review?
Yeah, to maximize your chances, the review suggests regular practice in the free rounds to hone your skills and learn the game mechanics. Analyzing your past games to improve strategy is another good tip. Bankroll management is key, setting a budget and sticking to it. And finally, staying updated with app changes is always a good idea, as new features might pop up.
So wrapping it up, it sounds like Bubble Cash is a legitimate way to potentially earn a bit of extra cash playing a fun game. It's not going to replace your job, but if you enjoy bubble shooters and are willing to put in the practice, it could be a fun side hustle. Just go in with realistic expectations and manage your spending, right?
Exactly. It's entertainment first, potential earnings second. Practice, strategize, be mindful of your budget. And if you're in a state where cash tournaments are allowed, you might just win some extra cash. It's all about skill-based competition in a familiar game format. The key takeaway is to really manage your expectations and understand the Papaya Bubble Cash game app